A Canadian Forces Snowbird Jet has crashed in Kamloops, BC shortly after its takeoff on May 17th. In a released statement, the Canadian Forces said that Captain Jen Casey, a public affairs officer, has been confirmed killed in the crash, while the pilot, Captain Richard McDougall, has sustained serious injuries. The Snowbirds Jet had arrived in Kamloops on Saturday after performing successful flyovers in Alberta. The Canadian Forces Snowbirds cross-country tour was announced late April as a response to Covid-19. Dubbed Operation Inspiration, the aerobatics team was deployed in an effort to boost morale as Canadians continue to struggle with the ongoing pandemic. The crash occurred before noon shortly after taking off from the Kamloops airport. It was reported to have been following another jet when it veered upward and then circled toward the tarmac before entering into a nosedive.
And it took less than a minute for something to go tragically wrong.
What? It just crashed.
At least one person was witnessed ejecting from the jet before it crashed into a residential area. BC Emergency Health Services has said multiple paramedics responded to the scene and one person was transported to the hospital. Captain Casey hailed from Halifax and joined the Canadian Armed Forces in 2014 after working several years as a journalist. The pilot, Captain Richard McDougall, was confirmed seriously hurt in the crash, but is expected to survive. In a statement, Justin Trudeau offered his thoughts to the families of both service members. The cause of the crash is still unknown at this time. The CT-114 Tudor jet was obtained by the Canadian Air Force in 1963 and has been used in air demonstrations since 1971. Prior to Sunday's crash, 7 pilots and 1 passenger had been killed, and several aircraft had been lost over the course of the Snowbird's history. This is the latest incident involving the aerobatic team in less than a year. The Snowbirds had a similar accident last October after a pilot was forced to eject from his aircraft prior to an air show in the U.S. state of Georgia. The plane had crashed into a farmer's field and no one was significantly hurt. This has been the second tragic loss for Canadian service members in as many months, after the crash of a Canadian Forces helicopter over the Ionian Sea occurred in late April of this year. More on that news story here.